Welcome everyone to Coin New Yen Review channel. Before we dive into today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share so more people can discover us. Enjoy the show. I caught sight of the young woman selling drinks at the bar, her presence stirring something deep within me. So I threw my wealth around to keep her close by my side. For 10 years, I forced my love upon her, binding her to me. But I never expected to awaken to a startling truth. Upon learning that Union was the heroine of this tale, and that her actions would lead to my family's ruin and my downfall, I resolved that preserving my life was paramount. So when Union met the story's hero, I sent her a message declaring her free from my grasp. I decided it was time to find a new plaything. Yet that very night, Union confined me in a dark, suffocating room. She looked at me with reddened eyes, her voice trembling as she called me brother. "How could you abandon me?" she asked, her words cutting deep. This marked the 10th year of my entanglement with Union. Her latest film soared, earning both critical acclaim and box office triumph. She had just posted a celebratory photo on Weibo boasting over $2 billion in earnings. Staring at the image on my phone of her entwined with another man, I confronted her, my face a mask of cold indifference. "I don't recall this scene being in the movie," I said, my voice sharp. Union sighed, addressing me as Yen, her tone heavy with exasperation. "It's merely a promotional still," she explained. Just as still, I pressed, my skepticism unyielding. "Your fans seem to think it's quite the pairing," I remarked. "But we are the real ones," I insisted. I wouldn't let it go, my voice firm and unyielding. "Tell me," I demanded. I threatened to post our intimate photos to her fan club. "Would your fans lose their minds?" I taunted. Union fell silent, her response withheld. She merely lifted her gaze to meet mine. Her eyes with their long, delicate lashes held me captive. When she glanced back, her lashes cast a fine shadow at the corners, soft and intricate. She was breathtakingly beautiful. "Do you want me to post it?" I asked, half serious. "Our names would dominate the trending lists together," I mused. I gazed at Union, utterly entranced. Unable to resist, I leaned in to kiss her. Union tried to turn her face away, but I held her waist, locking my eyes on hers. I waited for her to speak. "You'll have the publicity team replace the photo," she promised. Her answer didn't satisfy me. "Too many people have already saved that image," I countered. "At next week's award ceremony, I'll propose to you," I declared. In the end, Union relented. "This is the best way to show everyone who you truly belong to," I thought. But after Union left, cold sweat drenched me as I clutched my chest. My entire body trembled uncontrollably. I knew my time was running out. This world I inhabited was merely a book with Union as its heroine. Regrettably, I was not the hero. I wasn't even the second lead. I was merely Feng Ti, the fourth male character, a background figure, a tool in this story's design. My role was painfully simple. First, to provide Union with experience, using all my resources to launch her career, guiding her from a mere extra to a celebrated actress. Second, to be the catalyst for her downfall, with my dark, obsessive restraint, inflicting deep psychological wounds, making her distrust love and her calling, and embodying the twisted traits of a hero in destroying what I couldn't have. All her warped characteristics were forced upon her by my decade-long obsession, born from 10 years of coerced love. In the end, to spare readers' disdain for my torment of her, I'd meet my demise in a car accident at the story's start, leaving Union gravely injured, to encounter the gentle, perfect doctor who was the true hero, waiting to heal her body and soul. My existence would be reduced to a few fleeting words, mentioned only when Union opened her heart to the hero, serving as a tool to elevate their love, merely a stepping stone for their emotional climax. But for me, these 10 years were painfully real. I had possessed Union for a full decade. Whenever she grew too close to another, my unsettling possessiveness would rear its head, driving me to madness against her. 10 years ago, I saw Union working part-time at the bar, her quiet beauty overwhelmed. Something within me snapped, an urge I couldn't control. I rushed to her, demanding her name, and boldly declared words I'd never normally say, with brazen arrogance, words that were utterly unlike me. "What's your name?" I asked. "Spend one night with me, and I'll buy every bottle behind you." "I don't know you," she replied. Those were Union's first words to me. "Yen," I said. "Your future boyfriend." Emboldened by liquor, I kissed Union's cheek without hesitation. If you please me, you'll never have to sell drinks here again. You're insane, Union said, wiping her face as she turned to leave. But how could I let her go? I signaled my bodyguards. They pinned her hands behind her back, rendering her unable to move. Then I bit my finger, writing Ziyan in blood where I'd kissed her. Ziyan, I repeated. Remember that, I said with a smug smile. I watched her unsurprised. Her beautiful eyes blazed with fury. That was the first time you didn't call me Ziyan. If you fail to say it a second time, I'll carve it into your face. Who do you think you are? She spat. Union struggled against the restraint, but everyone around knew who I was. No one dared intervene. I stuffed a wad of cash into Union's skirt, then slowly rubbed her lips with my hand, soft, red, and tempting to kiss. If you don't tell me your name, I'll kiss you, I warned. Union glared at me, her eyes burning with defiance. Finally, as I leaned closer, close enough to feel her warm breath, she spoke. Union, a beautiful name, I thought. If you take my hand now and lead me out of here, I'll agree, I offered. I signaled the bodyguards to release her, then extended my hand to Union. Or perhaps you'd prefer I do something bolder right here. With that, I unabashedly admired Union's form. Union hesitated, her brows knitting tightly. Finally, she took a deep breath, grabbed my hand, and stormed off. Laughter erupted from the crowd behind us. I turned, pressing a finger to my lips to hush them, then gazed contentedly at Union's profile. A beauty with flushed eyes was truly a sight to behold. In a secluded spot outside the bar, Union quickly let go of my hand. Can I go now? She asked. Who are you talking to? I replied. I tilted my head, feigning innocence as I looked at her. Ziyan, can I go now? She mumbled. Hearing her say my name, I let out a satisfied sigh. See you tomorrow, Union. Until Union's figure completely vanished from my sight. Only then did control over my body slowly return. I couldn't recall when I first realized this world was a book, but for the past decade and more, I lived the tranquil life of a wealthy heir. I always believed if I avoided the lives of the hero and heroine, the plot would pass me by. Until I was forced to follow the script just now, I realized the story was inescapable. From today onward, I'd cling to Union like an uncheckable shadow until every plot point was fulfilled. The book scarcely mentioned how Ziyan bound Union to him, merely glossing over it with vague entanglements. I didn't want to entangle Union, but since I'd already said see you tomorrow, the plot dictated tomorrow I'd be unable to resist seeking her at the bar. With that in mind, I climbed out of bed and stumbled to the bathroom. Turning on the cold water, I let it cascade over me. Perhaps I could make myself gravely ill, too sick to leave the house. In short, anything to delay my story with Union. The next day, as hoped, I woke burning with a high fever. Refusing the hospital, I grabbed the maid's hand, demanding a private doctor. After speaking, I sank into a relieved slumber, until a sharp break jolted me awake. Where was I? Not in my room. I was in the back seat of my famous Bentley. I bolted upright, words caught in my throat. The bodyguard in the front turned, young master. Someone fainted up ahead. What? Where are we going? My voice was hoarse, shockingly weak. My head spun, my body drained. It couldn't be Union we hit, could it? Was the plot so eager to throw the heroine at me? Drivesai had a car accident on his way. Young master, you still haven't broken your fever, so we're heading to the hospital. The bodyguard paused after explaining, shifting to reveal an old man collapsed on the roadside. Should we move him, young master? It wasn't Union, I exhaled in relief. Take him to the hospital with us. After a day of fever-reducing shots, I regained a bit of energy. During that time, I stayed holed up in the VIP ward, avoiding the outside. As the clock neared midnight, entering the third day, I hadn't encountered Union. I couldn't help but feel a quiet thrill, even if I had to leave the house. If Union wasn't at my destination, I could avoid the plot's pull. So tomorrow I'd arrange to leave the country. Is this young Master Zhao's ward? Thank you for sending my grandmother to the hospital. Wait, was that Union's voice? Before I could stop myself, I flung open the door, locking eyes with Union outside. If you want to thank me, you could offer yourself, I said. Why did I say something so foolish? I wanted to bite my tongue off, but my body moved on its own, approaching her. Taking the water from Union's hand, I covered all your grandmother's medical exams. This little gesture isn't enough, I teased. How much I'll transfer it to you? Union's face was cold as she reached for her phone. I rattled off my phone number. As she opened the payment app, I drawled a tie 8,000. Seeing Union freeze, I chuckled. No money, no problem. Dinner with me 10,000. A stroll 20,000. Escort me home 30,000. Hold my hand on the way 10,000. A kiss, well, don't push it. Union cut me off, her voice sharp. I'm not for sale, and I'm not a client. I studied the heroine with interest. It seemed every encounter left her furious with me. Who wouldn't be? With me hounding her like this, acting like a thug. But perhaps I needed to be even more brazen. I leaned closer to Union. Before she could react, I wrapped my arm around her waist and kissed her lips. Soft, cool, and surprisingly sweet. Then she shoved me hard, sending me to the floor. Union's face flushed red to her ears. How could you? She stammered, incredulous. Before she finished, if a kiss cancels out a tie 8,000. No, I'm not a thug. And that was my first kiss, I blurted. I frantically wiped my lips. Wait, I could control myself now. Was it because kissing Union satisfied my possessive urge, allowing me to steer the plot? I scrambled to my feet, grabbing Union's hand as she turned to leave. Don't go, let me kiss you again. Just once, oh, my head spinning. When Union ignored me, I clutched my head, collapsing toward her. Feel me, am I burning up again? Stop playing these tricks, she snapped. I did save your grandmother after all. Fine, call me ungrateful. I clung to Union, refusing to let go. With no choice, she helped me back to the ward. Now I was certain, if I stayed close to Union, touched her, I was following the plot correctly and could control my body. But if I distanced myself from her, it was like rejecting the plot. Then I'd lose control, forced to follow the script. Thinking of the foolish things I said when controlled, I gripped Union's hand tighter. You're not leaving. Stay here with me. I can't stay. I need to look after my grandmother. Perhaps recalling I saved her grandmother, Union's expression softened. Rest well. You'll leave once you're asleep. I hadn't felt sleepy, but lying in bed, fatigue hit me hard. Sleep overtook me quickly. In a half-dream state, I heard Union say, "Thank you for saving my grandmother. The doctor said a delay could have been dangerous. But I don't like you, and I don't want to play your childish games. I'll find a way to repay your money. I don't want Moneu. I want Union." I struggled to hold her hand, but sleep pulled me under again. I woke refreshed, but Union was gone. Recalling last night, her vague words about cutting ties, I realized, instead of being forced to dominate her, wounding her heart and body, I'd rather find a way to keep Union by my side willingly and pass these 10 years peacefully. If she thought a few thousand could settle it, what about millions? Or tens of millions? With a little money, I obtained Union's family details. Her mother, pregnant out of wedlock, abandoned her to her grandparents, never returning. Her grandmother's health was frail, often hospitalized. Her grandfather was a compulsive gambler, frequenting seedy casinos. When he lost, he'd vanish, returning only after her grandmother paid his debts, never learning his lesson. So with a small nudge, I could make her grandfather lose bigger, forcing Union to yield to me. But I didn't expect to ruin everything. Union's grandfather died. He jumped from the 20th floor, overwhelmed by massive debts. But the creditors didn't stop. They swarmed their home, carting off the TV, washing machine, and more. Her grandfather's body lay abandoned downstairs, covered only by a thin white cloth. When I arrived, Union was struggling to carry her grandfather's body home. The corpse, broken from the fall, was gruesome. Blood and flesh scattered everywhere. Union's face bore bruises and bloodstains. Her clothes were soaked red, but her expression was chillingly blank. Her eyes dark, devoid of light. Union, I called, signaling the bodyguards to help get away. Her voice was hoarse, cold as ice. Ignoring her, I ordered the bodyguards to carry her grandfather's body inside. I wrote a check with a string of numbers, handing it to the creditors at her door. I told them to take it and leave. Why play the saint now? Union sneered. My grandfather never lost that much before. You tampered with it, didn't you? I don't know what you're talking about. Guilt kept me from meeting her eyes, but I forced a defense. I didn't make him gamble. After a long silence, Union spoke slowly. Ziyan, it better not be you. Then she turned to leave. Where are you going? I hurried after her. My grandmother fainted. I need to get to the hospital. I'll drive you, I offered. And we rode in awkward silence. My life steeped in wealth blinded me to the reality that someone could end their life over 30 million. If Union learned the truth, she'd hate me to her core. She'd never stay by my side willingly, thinking of the next 10 years. Unable to control my action, only tormenting her in madness. I felt I'd rather be the one who jumped. My grandmother fainted from the shock of his deaths. Union's sudden voice startled me, meeting her dark, unreadable eyes. I blurted I didn't do anything. I won't say anything to upset your grandmother. I lowered my head embarrassed. Thanks just now, Union said with a bitter smile. I owe you more and more. It's fine, we're friends, aren't we? Friends who get handsy at first sight. Union raised an eyebrow lightly. Though we started off poorly, I see you as a good friend. Truly the best friend. I looked at Union earnestly, nearly swearing to the heavens. Thankfully, she just watched me quietly, saying nothing more. I let out a relieved breath. This was a rare moment of peace with Union. Perhaps a good omen. We could be friends and pass these 10 years without conflict. But I didn't expect. A bigger surprise awaited at the hospital. Another boy was already in the ward, by Union's grandmother's bedside. Union, are you hurt? The boy saw the blood on her and rushed over, checking her anxiously. I'm fine, thanks for today. You should go home. Having watched Union so long, I'd never heard her voice so gentle. It's okay, Union. It's too hard for you to care for her alone. I can help out here. Calling her Union so intimately, by the time I realized something was wrong, I was already pressing the nurse call button. Its shrill sound drew both Union and the boy's attention. Before Union could react, the boy glared at me accusingly. Union, is this your friend? He's disturbing your grandmother. Get out, I said coldly. The boy clearly hadn't expected my first words to be so harsh. I glanced at Union, feeling a flicker of unease. Please go back home for now. Union cast him a fleeting look. She murmured softly, but Union's sister. Union, I just paid off 30 million in gambling debts for your grandfather. I cut off Bai King's words sharply. If this man can't immediately produce 30 million to repay me, then tell him to get out now. Bai Ching, leave. Union stood ushering Bai Ching out the door. She glanced at her grandmother still unconscious on the hospital bed. Union pulled me aside, asking why I was suddenly acting crazed. I apologized, admitting I didn't know why I was losing control. But seeing Union close with another man ignited an uncontrollable rage within me. I wanted to tear that man Bai Ching to pieces. I wanted to lock Union away so she could only see me, so her lips would only speak my name. This terrifying possessiveness shocked me, yet I couldn't rein in my actions. I snatched the phone from Union's jacket pocket. I gestured for her to unlock it, and blocked every contact tied to that man. Bai Ching is just my neighbor, Union explained calmly. Union, am not pleased. I tossed her phone out the window without a second thought. You'd better understand. The reason you're worth 30 million is because I like you, but my affection won't tolerate others getting close to you. Heaven help me, why was I spouting such foolish words? Things were spiraling further into chaos. Union's face darkened at my words. The softened gaze shed briefly shown me turned icy once more. I don't need your affection. I'll sign a promissory note for you. With any interest you name, I'll repay every cent I owe. How laughable. Why didn't you say that to those creditors earlier? I let out a derisive chuckle, slowly closing the distance between us. My fingers gently traced the blood on Union's cheek, then pressed down hard, drawing fresh blood. Union's eyes began to bleed again, but she didn't flinch. She just stared at me with a cold, unfamiliar gaze. Is it because they didn't obey you? Exactly. They don't adore you like I do. I leaned down, kissing the wound on her. The heavy scent of blood overwhelmed me. Yet I moved from her wound to her lips, kissing them slowly, dry but not unpleasant. It was Union's unique, cool, fresh essence. As expected, kissing her snapped me out of my frenzy. I'm sorry, so sorry. I grabbed Gus to wipe the blood from her face. Is this fun for you? Treating me like a toy to play with, compared to her earlier anger, with eyes red at the edges. This expressionless Union felt far more terrifying. Union, I have money. So much money I struggled to explain. I can handle your grandfather's funeral arrangements. Ensure your grandmother gets the best treatment. And then what must I give in return? Play this good friend game with you, or sleep with you. Union suddenly grabbed my hand, holding the gauze, pulling me into her embrace. Should I thank young Master Z for thinking so highly of me? Spending 30 million for a bedmate. You don't have to do anything. Feeling her warm breath on my neck, I squirmed, uncomfortable, unable to meet her gaze. Something was off about Union. My mind couldn't process it. She was licking my neck. I'll call a nurse to treat you. I wrenched myself from her arms, fleeing in a panic. I hid for days, avoiding Union, leaving my bodyguards to handle her grandfather's funeral. I don't know how Union explained it, but in the end, after her grandfather's funeral, her grandmother was moved to a sanatorium for care. I gradually pieced together my body's strange behavior. To keep the plot on track, I had to stay close to Union, keep her by my side. At the same time, if Union got too close to another man, my character would unleash intense possessiveness, driving me to madness against her. So, why let me know this is a book? Why show me the plot when I can't do anything, can't change a thing? Suddenly with Union, the bodyguard who'd been gone for days returned. What happened? I asked, glancing behind him. Union wasn't there. Young Master Miss Yun went to Hengxing. The bodyguard handed me a contract. Hengxing Entertainment was a top-tier company. Coincidentally, my family held some shares in it. I'd always wondered, given Ziyan's intense possessiveness, how had allowed Union to act and be seen by the masses. Turns out Union dove in herself. A 10-year contract with a massive penalty for breaking it. I asked the bodyguard in disbelief. Did she sign it willingly? Yes, the bodyguard added. They didn't know Miss Yun was yours. They thought her image fit perfectly for their top secrets level film project. Plus, Miss Yun needed money. So where is Union now? At the Northern City filming base. By the time I came to my senses, I was standing before Union, contract in hand. In just a few days, Union had grown noticeably thinner. Under the company's styling, she had changed her hair, her face even more striking. In a simple white dress, she looked aloof yet regal. You dared sign a 10-year contract. Union, are you eager to be mine? I knew avoiding her would have consequences. Sure enough, I was spouting nonsense again. I didn't know Hengxing was tied to the Z family. Union explained coolly. Well, now you do. I stepped closer, my gaze brazen. Truly worthy of the heroine. She was breathtakingly beautiful. Shouldn't you show some gratitude? With that, my hand wandered toward her chest. Ziyin, do you really like me? Union didn't pull away for once. She just looked at me, her eyes complex. Of course I like you. You don't know me at all. You don't know what kind of person I am or my family background. You only like my appearance. Is that what you call love? Isn't liking your face enough? I couldn't help but scoff. Love fades too easily. But as long as your face stays this beautiful, I'll keep liking you. The more we meet, the deeper it grows. I leaned in, wrapping my arms around her waist, kissing her swiftly. This was the first time Union didn't push me away. She gazed at me quietly, her eyes dark and unreadable. Seeing she didn't resist, I grew bolder. Mesmerized, I kissed her chin, savoring Union's unique, cool, fresh scent. After kissing her, my mind cleared. Only then did I notice Union had hooked her arms around my neck. She was practically clinging to me. Startled, I released her and stepped back. Union, since you signed a 10-year contract with Hengxing, let's make a 10-year deal. What deal? For these 10 years, beyond the work Hengxing assigns you, you'll have breakfast with me every day. On your days off, you come to me. When you're on set, I'll come to you. When I'm around, you're not allowed to have any close contact with other men. Not even a word. If you do all this, after 10 years, I'll set you free. No strings attached. That's it, I'll play my part and be done. By the letter of the plot. This counts as me possessing Union for 10 years. She won't have to force herself to be with someone she doesn't love, and I can control myself, both of us at ease. Fearing Union might suspect my sudden reasonableness, I quickly added, if 10 years can't make you like me, I'll have nothing left to say. In Union's dark eyes, emotions I couldn't decipher stirred. Just when I thought she'd say something, she softly agreed, fine, I accept. The 10 years with Union were calmer than I'd imagined. She was born to shine in a crowd. Everything she did was dazzling. Just as the plot foretold, her debut drama was a massive hit, earning her the Best Newcomer award. Offers poured in after, from TV dramas to films. Every project she touched succeeded. Fans called her a heaven-sent star, her acting outshining even her beauty. She quickly rose from hot newcomer to top-tier celebrity, then a box office legend, and finally a shadow empress in the making. Most notably, her love life remained a mystery, except 6 years ago, when she suddenly announced a boyfriend outside the industry. No one glimpsed a shred of her private life. As for that announcement, it happened when I visited her on set and saw her filming a kiss scene. I nearly lost my mind. Charging forward, I shoved the male actor to the ground, dragged Union away, speeding the car to 120, nearly ready to die with her. To calm me, Union grabbed my hand, fingers interlaced, and posted on Weibo, which only thrilled me more. I stopped the car, pulled her into my arms, and kissed her. Things spiraled out of control. When I came to my senses, Union's neck was covered in marks I'd left. Her eyes glistened as she looked at me, making me too guilty to meet her gaze. I'll take responsibility. I instinctively started writing a check, but Union's face turned cold. I still owe you plenty. Deducted from that. With that, she dressed and started to leave. Didn't you enjoy it too? Yes, very much. Union's voice carried a gritted teeth edge. Then we entered a Cold War. The only month in 10 years. We didn't share breakfast until I couldn't stand it and sought her out, kissing her the moment I held her on set. And somehow we made up. I often felt in a daze, as if we were truly a couple, doing things only lovers do. Yet I did lose control over rumors about Union, only to sober up, realizing it was just the plot I had to follow. For Union, perhaps it was only pain. Until the 10th year neared its end, I saw the hero ahead of time. It's almost laughable. When I heard Union was injured on set, I was writing a will. Not much to write, since I didn't know when the plot would claim me. I'd die soon enough, mainly to divide my shares and properties. Either donate them or leave them to Union, so her 10 years wouldn't be wasted. But instead of me dying, she got hurt first. When I reached the set, Union was surrounded, impenetrable. Only her costume, stained with blood, was visible. I called my bodyguards to clear the crowd, then saw Union leaning on a bench, her costume cut open at the shoulder, her arm a mess of bloody scrapes. But she wasn't looking at her wound. She gazed quietly at the person treating her, a man whose profile alone screamed handsome. No wonder I didn't react to the scene. The hero had arrived. The hero's role wouldn't allow a mere fourth lead like me to lose control. It's not too serious. No bones were harmed, but the wound is large. Keep it clean. Avoid big movements for a few days. The hero carefully bandaged Union's wound, then looked up, giving her a gentle smile. As the set's doctor for so long, this is the first time I've seen Teacher Yun hurt. Is it okay, Teacher Yun? I was distracted. Union glanced at her phone, distracted. There's an important award ceremony tomorrow. Will it affect my attendance? Wear loose clothing. Don't cover the wound, and it'll be fine. The Golden Awards ceremony. I saw your movie, Teacher Yun. It was truly spectacular. Of course it was. That film would earn Union her Shadow Empress title, her first major award, shedding the flower vase label for good, gaining access to top-tier resources. Even Hengxing couldn't provide, making her a super Alistair. I suddenly realized I hadn't seen the hero early. The plot was telling me my usefulness was nearly spent. My time was almost up. Young master, aren't you going over? Maybe I'd been staring too long. The bodyguard whispered. Forget it, let's go. I said, my face blank. Instead of interrupting the hero and heroine's first meeting, I'd rather finish my will. Pick the music for my funeral. I knew Union was beautiful, but seeing her, dressed for the Golden Awards, I was utterly captivated. Over 10 years, Union had grown from a vibrant spring maiden into an elegant regal woman. Her eyes like ink-washed paintings, delicately drawn, her long lashes framing her eyes, casting layers of charm like an ancient Eastern alley. At that moment, she wore a flowing ethereal gown, stunning like a figure from a painting. Union, you're breathtaking, I murmured entranced. Do you like it? Union asked softly. I love it. Too much. I reached for her hand, realizing her left arm was injured. I quickly switched sides. Union's face darkened. You knew my left arm was hurt? Of course, I said, confused. But you didn't come to the set yesterday. I was tied up with company matters. It hit me if this were before. Knowing Union was injured, I'd have been by her side fussing over her, firing the negligent staff. But yesterday, I hadn't even asked. I grabbed her right hand, leading her to the van. I finished work yesterday. Today, I'm free to stay with you for the awards. How do you know it'll win? Union raised an eyebrow. Because in my heart, you're already the Shadow Empress. Because I know you'll become one. Last night, I finally recalled the book's opening. Top star Union was in a car accident on her way to the awards. While being rushed to the hospital, she was announced as the Golden Awards Shadow Empress. Ziyan, are you listening? Union's face loomed close. I instinctively recoiled, only to be thrown into her arms by a sharp turn. What's happening? A stalker's car is following us. Union pressed my head down, holding me close. Don't look up. The driver sped up to lose the car, swerving sharply at intersections. Watching the scenery blur past, I clutched Union's sleeve tightly. What were you thinking about? Union asked suddenly, catching me off guard. Nothing, just that we've known each other nearly 10 years. Time flies, it's already the 10th year. I felt like I tried, yet it was all futile struggling. Nothing had changed. The plot had reached Ziyan's fatal car accident. As the car sped faster, I couldn't hold back. If I was doomed to die today, if our story had to end, I at least wanted an answer. Union, I looked at her hesitantly. Have these 10 years been the worst of your life? What are you talking about? Union frowned at me. I'm sorry, I stammered, before I could finish. As Union pulled me into her arms, I saw a van crashing toward us. Then Union held me tightly. In the darkness, all I could sense was her cool, fresh scent. Finally, I lost all consciousness in the massive plot loading progress abnormal. Error detection, error correction. Correction failed. Warning, warning. Plot anomaly detected. So noisy, what's that sound? What anomaly? The plot begins with Ziyan's death in a car accident. Ziyan is me. Am I dead? Union. I snapped my eyes open, greeted by a stark white ceiling. The sharp smell of disinfectant filled my nose. Amid the beeping of machines, I faintly heard, young master, you're finally awake. Call the doctor quick. Notify Miss Yun, hurry. Thank goodness I was alive. I exhaled in relief, letting the doctors check my condition. Their jargon was incomprehensible, but I had no major injuries. I'd been unconscious for a week. Now I seemed fine, just needing careful recovery. I nodded, looking at the bodyguard. I looked at her, stunned by the sudden warmth in her eyes. Where is Union? Where's Union? Young master, Miss Yun is temporarily. Watching the bodyguard stammer, a chill gripped my heart. In the car accident, Union had shielded me with her body. If I was unharmed, could it be? Had Union taken Ziyan's place and died? Where is she? Take me to her. Tears welled in my eyes. For a moment, I thought the bodyguard was leading me to the morgue. But it was only that Union refused to see me. Through the glass window, I quietly watched Union sitting on the hospital bed. She looked much thinner, her skin ghostly pale, Yet her gaze remained captivating, drowning anyone who met it. Deeply affectionate enough to overwhelm. But she wasn't looking at Mesh, was gazing at the hero. He was speaking softly to her, his head bowed, then gently lifted her face, his fingers tracing her features delicately. Union didn't pull away. Instead, she shifted, bringing her face closer to the boy. Their eyes locked. How sweet! The budding romance of the heroine and hero. Where was there room for me? A fourth male lead who should have exited long ago. Strangely, I didn't spiral into madness like before, nor did I feel the urge to barge in and tear them apart, or harbor dark, destructive thoughts. I just felt exhausted, as if I'd watched a decade-long drama, finally reaching its end. You're free! In moving on to a new toy, I sent Union that message, then powered off my phone. Let it be. I didn't die and Union was still alive. For the plot to proceed, it was time for me to quietly exit. I must admit, without Union, calling 10 women to drink with me felt exhilarating. For 10 years, the Z family's business had thrived, yet I've been hung up on Union alone. What a waste! But the women here, though sweet-looking, fell short in looks. This one's eyes weren't natural, her double eyelids too pronounced. That one's nose bridge was too flat, her profile lacked charm. Another had decent brows and eyes, but her lips were too thin, petty looking. None compared to Union. I downed a shot, bitter with frustration. Right now, Union was probably chasing bliss with the hero, living freely, while I lingered here treating these 10 years as something real. You come massage my shoulders, and you sing no, not that theme song. Not that one either. No songs from any of Union's shows. Then let me sing for you. My hand poised to toss the microphone was caught. Irritated, I looked up. Was I seeing things? Though she wore a hat and mask, her exposed eyes were cool and clear. It was really Union. Why are you here? Zian, what do you want to hear? I'll sing for you, how's that? Union smiled, gently pressing my hand. Suddenly, I didn't want to hear anything. An inexplicable guilt like being caught cheating washed over me. I yanked my hand back, standing to leave, but Union pulled me into her arms. Her face nestled against my shoulder. With every word she spoke, her warm breath grazed my neck, sending shivers through me. Ziyan, let's not fight anymore, okay? Let's go home. It's been so long since we ate together. Union rubbed against me, her tone laced with grievance. Even after I sent her that breakup text, even when we were together, she rarely initiated such closeness. Before, I would have been thrilled. But, seeing the tenderness I craved for 10 years, given so easily to the hero, I didn't want it anymore. No, I said stubbornly, turning to meet Union's eyes. We're not fighting, we're done. Union, I'm tired of this game. Union froze, her gaze bewildered, lost, as if I'd said something incomprehensible. Finally, she sighed softly, a faint redness in her eyes. Steadfast, she spoke in a soft, pleading tone. Even if we're breaking up, have one last meal with me. Let's part on good terms, okay? I agreed. I went home with Union to eat. I even lit candles, planning a candlelit dinner before singing a breakup song. Then I blacked out. What, locked up again? My first thought upon waking. I hadn't realized. Union, you really know how to play. It was the familiar house, but this was Union's script study room, a film projection hall for character analysis. I rarely came here, so I hadn't known. Behind the screen, there was space for such a long and thin metal chain, perfectly binding my ankle, allowing movement only within this room. Unable to leave, Union sat nearby, toying with a remote in her hand. Seeing me awake, she resumed the paused film. Remember this, it's my third film. The heroine built a gilded cage for the hero, trying to keep him locked inside forever. Union reached out, touching my face, still wearing her hat and mask, her eyes exquisitely drawn, but her gaze held a chilling obsession and melancholy. Back then, I wondered if you truly loved me. Was your love just possessiveness? Or did you only want to cage me, keeping me confined, while showing me off to the world? I was too shocked to speak. This Union was utterly abnormal. Not the Union I'd known for 10 years. The Union I knew was aloof but gentle. She'd never say such things. She was more like the book's original, tortured by Ziyan for a decade, twisted into paranoia the Shadow Empress Union. But that's okay. I figured it out later. As long as you love me, that's enough. As long as you don't leave me. I'm willing to play this role-playing game forever. Union leaned in to kiss me. Through her mask, I couldn't feel her lips. Only her eyes locked on mine, carrying a complex hatred. But if you ever stop loving me, it'll lock you up, so you can only see me. Feel how I went from being caged by you to controlling you like this. Union pressed me down, kissing from my face to my neck. As things spiraled out of control, I struggled desperately. Union, what's gotten into you? Don't act like I'm the one abandoning you. I pushed against her chest, creating distancy or addicted to acting. I chased you for 10 years and you barely cared. Now that I'm done, you're the one feeling wrong. I'm the one who's wronged. My eyes stung with tears. I sniffed hard. I'm done. I'm setting you free. No, Union sneered. You start when you want and end when you please. What do you take me for? Nothing, I snapped, kicking at her, trying to push her off. I underestimated the chain's reach. With a tug and release, I ended up falling onto Union, flipping from her pinning me to me pinning her. So I yanked off her hat, smashing it at her face, cursing as I struck. Why are you locking me up? And do this chain. In the chaos, I tore off her mask, revealing a jagged scar, stretching from her forehead to her ear, winding down her temple, a vivid red burn. The world spun around me. Union's face was ruined. Don't look, please, don't look at me. Union let out a faint whimper, covering her face with her hands. Your face! I could hardly believe it. Was it because of the accident? Did you shield me? I thought I'd escape the plot, survive. I thought Union, the heroine, would be fine. But I never imagined her face would be the one scarred. She had just won her first Shadow Empress award, with so much ahead of her. That refined, exquisite face, so captivating on the big screen. How could it bear such a glaring scar? My hands trembled, reaching to touch her face, but Union shoved me away, backing to the door. It won't leave a permanent mark. The treatment plan is set. Union turned, hiding her scarred side in shadow. She spoke slowly. Ziyan, you said, as long as my face stayed beautiful, you'd always love me. My face will heal. We want part. Union gave me a deep look, put on her hat and left. The fourth male lead didn't die. The heroine's face was scarred. The one locked in a dark room should have been the hero at 70% plot progress. But now it was me. The plot was utterly derailed. Luckily, the chain was more show than substance. I grabbed Union's Best Newcomer Award trophy and smashed the chain with its base, freeing myself after 3 hours. Union avoided me, refusing to meet. Her answer was always an ugly rejection, so I took my bodyguards to find her doctor, the hero Gu He. The full treatment plan. If discussed it with Teacher Yun, 3 surgeries at most, with simple makeup. It won't show even on the big screen. Gu He wasn't surprised to see me, but his gaze held a subtle chill. When Teacher Yun woke after the accident, she was devastated. Your reputation as a face-obsessed man is well-earned. Fine, the world knows. I was with Union for her stunning looks. As her patron boyfriend, I earnestly grabbed Gu Hei's hand. Is her face really okay? Have you checked her mental state? Don't you, her closest companion, know? Gu He sneered, of course. When Teacher Yun was injured on set, you didn't even ask. You only cared if Shed win awards or make Hengxing money. Oh, so the hero's a Union fan. After his sharp critique, I slunk away in defeat. But why walking on the sidewalk? Did cars keep veering toward me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I dodged from sidewalk to bus stop, from bus stop to greenery. When the 5th taxi ignored traffic rules, barreling toward me, I had nowhere left to run. Watching it close in, my body froze, unable to move. Suddenly, a familiar figure darted out, pulling me into her arms against the car. In my widening eyes, the taxi, less than a meter away, swerved in a physics-defying arc, vanishing from sight. As if fated, I heard a mechanical voice sigh. Plot correction failed. Union, I pushed her away, stunned, and spoke haltingly. Did you hear what I heard? Union looked at me saying slowly, Ziyan have always heard it. If I realized this was a book, when I first met Union, then Union awakened after the accident. She saw the future plot and knew why I'd entangled her for 10 years. Then why Ziyan? These 10 years were real, not some program script. They were our real shared decade. Union gazed at me quietly, her eyes tinged with sorrow. Don't you feel anything for these 10 years? But I was always forcing you. You weren't happy or free. I gave a bitter laugh. Don't tell me you've got Stockholm Syndrome. You've fallen for me. I've always loved you. Ziyan, you're the one avoiding me. Union sighed. You never noticed. Whenever I tried to respond to you, you'd panic and pull away. Only when I looked at others would you show you cared. I thought you didn't like me. You didn't truly love me. So you treated it all as a script. But for me, every day of these 10 years was my real life. Union pressed my hand to her chest, letting me feel her warm, pounding heart. So the one going mad wasn't you, but me always ready to lose you. Is that true? Because I always thought I was forcing Union. I tried to restrain every touch, stopping the moment I regained control. To Union, it must seemed like, just as she tried to respond, I'd eagerly pull away. Because only when she spoke to other men would my possessiveness flare, driving me to frenzy. So to Union, the usual me was the cold one, the one who seemed distant. That's why she tested me by getting close to others, to see if I still cared. The real jerk was me, but I stammered. Every time I was kind, you got angry. Kind, you mean kissing me, then offering a check, throwing money at me. Union pressed her forehead. Ziyan, do you think we're just a transaction? You let Guhi touch your face, smiled at him, but didn't visit me when I woke. That was to check my wound for treatment. Union smiled. Ziyan, are you jealous? You locked me in a dark room, chained me. I kept protesting. I'm sorry back then. I hadn't sorted out the memories and plot in my head. Union's smile faded. She said firmly, Ziyan, I fell in love with you, and the plot's gone haywire. So for plot correction, you're meant to die in a car accident. But as the heroine, the first rule is my safety. So you can't leave me, or you'll die. I still refused Union's offer to stay, ruthlessly pushing her out. If Ziyan's death had to be a car accident, staying home would keep me safe. I needed time to think about my relationship with Union until the bodyguard came to me. This is what Miss Yun asked us to keep after the accident. Luckily, the car's glove box wasn't destroyed. The bodyguard gently handed me a black velvet box. Inside was a diamond ring I remembered before the awards. When I was raging at Union, she comforted me, saying she'd propose to me when she won. My brief mentions were only to come up when the heroine opened her heart to the hero, serving as a tool for their love's climax. But Union, before awakening to the plot, had already planned our future. She truly loved me. What about me? I looked at the bodyguard, my eyes filled with confusion. Should I marry Union? Don't you want to marry Miss Yun? I don't know if I want to be with her because of the plot, or marry her just to survive. Everything felt beyond my control. 3 years ago, Miss Yun already knew you were behind her grandfather's situation. The bodyguard said suddenly. That day at her house, her injuries were from her grandfather. Her mother abandoned her. Her grandfather saw her as a jinx, beating her whenever he lost at gambling. Her grandmother loved her, but only told her to endure because she loved her grandfather more and wouldn't stand up for her. I stared at the bodyguard stunned. Young master, we always thought Miss Yun was cold to you, but we all saw the way she looked at you, like a drowning person clinging to driftwood. The bodyguard smiled, his crow's feet prominent. I realized that had been with me for years. No longer young. Young master, you're Miss Yun's salvation. I thought after chasing her so long, this could Tanmouse game. You'd like that description. The bodyguard set down my phone, showing a dozen missed calls from Union. Could you bear it if Miss Yun married someone else? The bodyguard said slowly, striking deep. A fatal blow. I chased Union for 10 years, lifted her from obscurity to stardom. If she dared marry another, I'd lose it. I grabbed the phone. The heroine would marry the fourth lead. Let the damn plot collapse entirely. Yes, this is my real life. Every day with Union was my lived experience. Why should I be trapped in a scripted role, following a plot I don't accept? 10 years ago, I pulled Union out. In the future, it'll only be me by her side. Good night to the story.